guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to actually DUSTTALE Sans fight animation. So the animation of the Dust Sans fight. It's cool. Let's get into this. Hold on, it feels a little quiet for. Okay, so that's Dust Sans, the normal red eye there, and then just gotta wait to see. He's prepared though. So here we are again. Good to be back, isn't it? The player must be bored, right? The player must be bored. This time is different. This time, your rusty knife won't stop me. Wait, but it's not, unless he means like the knife doesn't work. Like rusty as in the insult rusty. Not the describing it as rusty. A mad time. One hit. Maybe not one hit. Yeah, it was because invincibility. So not one hit, but killed him. Yeah, okay. It's gonna be more about who gets tired first. Oh, miss. That's interesting. I guess Kara would do lots of damage, given that when they reach level 20, they do 9, 9, 9, 9, and repeating on for what feels like forever. So chances are, even if it's a little bit less than that, or a lot less, that's still going to be a lot of damage. So that blasted them a lot, maybe. Oh my god. Oh, I'm a purple one. Also, about that, I always have this theory about how, like, Dust Sans gets the purple eye. Because, again, right, yes, it could be perseverance. But it also could be, do you know in DUSTTALE how Gaster, I guess I could describe the scene. Gaster walks, takes the magic from Papyrus, right? The polychromatism, something like that. Or chromatism, whatever. And he completely destroys Betty. Which, yes, technically he killed Betty, and now it's just the hate that's left. The remnants of Betty and the hate, but technically he killed Betty, which kind of made sense. So polychromatism, whatever. So when just because Gaster probably had a lot, and Dust Sans can't get that off Gaster now, he's stuck in the void. Gaster's stuck in the void by his own creation. So Dust Sans kills Papyrus, he then probably gets a little bit of it. How Gaster did, but he didn't get it off of Sans, because glitched out Gas didn't get off of Sans because he didn't have time. Yeah, actually I could see that. I know lots of people say Dust Sans couldn't beat Undying or Asgore stuff. He probably couldn't get out the ruins. He could. Because what you're forgetting, what many people forget, is he is smart, right? And he does have the power to stop time. And I've probably said this in all of my videos, but he can stop time for at least a few moments. Because what you see, right, in Grillbees, right, when you talk about the flower, right, not the golden flower, I think the echo one, everything stops. No one's talking. Everyone literally stops talking. And he explains something he probably wouldn't say if they could hear. So he can stop time, meaning what he could do is stop time, surround Undying with attacks, hell, probably just blue soul her off the goddamn cliff or something, damage her to the point where she can't do anything, and then kill. It doesn't have to be a fair fight. As you see, the blaster probably concentrated enough magic to just go through her armor and destroy her soul, winning the fight. It doesn't have to be a fair fight like we do in Undertale. Because think about it, Sans has way more attacks, way more strategies. Hell, even smarter than us, probably. We don't really know how smart he is, but he's definitely smart. Hell, that machine in his goddamn basement says that he is smart. It is destroyed, but it did have a purpose somewhere, sometime, so I can see him easily destroying every monster. Yes, and you could probably destroy the shopkeepers, because the only reason I think you couldn't... No, this won't make sense, but in Undertale, it's never shown you opening doors, right? So, I think the reason you can't beat a shopkeeper is because the door is locked, and you only have a knife. I doubt you could get it open, because all the weapons you have can't open a door. And hell, and also if you want the game, probably because of its game mechanic, but if you want like the in-game explanation, probably because the door's locked, or hell, probably some type of magic that's stopping you from being able to open it or something like that. I'm just saying there's probably at least something stopping you. Sans could just teleport past the shopkeeper thingy and just sneak attack them. What he did in the Undertale fan game, I think it was it was Mettaton, yeah. In Mettaton, he literally just destroys Mettaton whilst you're fighting him. So it makes sense that he can just sneak attack them. All of them. And it's also, right, he can have, what he could do, this is more speculative, but he could just create lots of bones that come out of the ground, killing most of the monsters in in ruins. And who says he needs to play fair with Toriel? He could just go behind the door and spike her with the bones while she's not focused. I'm just saying that he doesn't need to play fair. He can just sneak attack them all. That's probably why he did, because Undying looks surprised. And I doubt Undying would even be able to go into an Undying the Undying form. And even if she does, Sans could just wait. Because Undying will eventually melt, right? So Sans could just, with his intelligence, just wait for Undying to melt. Because he can literally just teleport away. And again, he could just blue soul magic her into a wall and trap her with blue bones. Or just surround the cave surround her with blue bones and then just continually spamming blasters at her till she gives up. It's possible. Very possible, actually. Look at that grin, he's so happy. Look how happy he looks. They're not dead. You survived, eh? Also, I love how he instantly goes to attacking them. Love that. Okay. Yeah, he's not doing. Oh, determination. Hold on. No, I'm going back to that. Determination. So he is a little determined now. Oh, he destroyed all the cities. I mean, he should get more help if there's anyone in the city there. Aren't they abandoned? Because you see lots of time in like lot of different than ruins, but in New Home, the city. Are there people in there, or is it just abandoned city? That's never made sense to me on how. Like, again, because you also see in the Frog, it's like, Toriel's gone to the grocery store, and it's whatever. But we don't see any grocery stores, which makes you think she's rather leaving the ruins. Because she can leave and enter whenever she wants. And also, if the door, like, closes behind her, she could just put, like, a rock in the way. Or fire magic the door. Also, funny thing, why didn't Toriel destroy the door? And depending on how she destroys it, that'll just help Frisk run away. Also, Flowey would probably save Frisk. Because no, Flowey's evil. Flowey wants something good to happen. Like in Undertale Yellow, that Flowey explains in the neutral ending of it, that that Clover, I believe their name is, there's many endings where Clover just stays with Toriel and he just resets the game. Because it's a boring ending. And I doubt that Flowey in Undertale would probably thinks the same way. It would be boring. So he probably will just do something to get Frisk to continue. You know what I mean? Okay, he's not holding back, even though he's not tired, so he could be holding back a lot, actually. Yeah, he's holding back. And how he's even trying right now. It's gonna be a battle of determination, actually. It's a battle of determination, the more I think about it. And I feel he's winning the determination battle. Red Bones. Oh yeah, that makes sense. This is just a battle of determination. Who can do the most? He's glowing purple now. Oh, that's it. I like how it shows the red on Sans' eye and Kara's red eye. Both determination against determination. Also, does he have purple bones? And what the hell do they do? Because I know, like, each, like, because blue you don't move, orange you do move, yellow. I imagine that just means, like, imagine doesn't just try and find a good bit to pause. But I know, like, blue you don't move when it's on you. Yet when you're touching it, you don't move. Orange you do move when it touches you, when it's touching you. Yellow, I believe, just means you can destroy it. Because that's never said. I mean, I know Metaton Battle would make you believe that it moves stuff, but I think it's just yellow you shoot. Or yellow it's destroyable or something, or it shoots, I don't know. But what would black do, or hate, I guess, if you want to say that? And what, I mean, red decreases your max health or instant kills you. So that would then mean that black would probably do something like, what would black do? What would hate do, I guess? I mean, I imagine hate would just corrupt you or something like that, right? That's the only thing I can imagine. Because blue, like, patience, right? Blue, patience, you don't move. Orange, bravery, you face it head on, meaning move as it's, I don't know, touching you, right? When you're in contact with the orange bones or orange attacks, you move. You are facing it head on. But black, if we're going off of hate, wouldn't that just be you die? Or it corrupts you? I don't know. It would have to be something like that. Because red, I mean, instant kill makes sense. If you're determined enough, right? If Frisk is the determination soul, and that's how that works, where if they are determined enough, then they can turn back time, then it would make sense. So if you're determined enough, you can, instant kill them, right? That would make sense. And again, decrease in max health. Depending on how you consider it, in Undertale, the more LV you have, the more HP you have. Meaning, there may be determination, right? Well, not determination in the soul trait, but if you're determined enough, you have more HP, which could be why Sans doesn't have that much HP, because he's lost all hope because of Frisk endlessly resetting over and over again. So that would make sense. Or the player. I mean, to be fair, though Frisk does have times where they show their, like, where they're, like, self-aware, there's not much, right? So I think it's more the player. I think it's like a battle of control, except Frisk lost. Because in Deltarune you see that Chris can easily win the battle of control by just taking out the soul, but Frisk can't. I think that's because they don't know how to. And in Undertale, depending on what you believe, it would kill them. So, because again, Deltarune Chris doesn't look good after their soul is taken out, so I don't believe it probably feels good. But well, I think the decrease in max health is when the soul gets hit, I don't know, maybe it takes the determination out of them. And as determination, more determined you are, as when you kill, you don't care as much. And you find with people that don't care about most things are more, not determined, but they just don't care, right? That's the best way I can describe it. Most people that, like, don't, it's more if they enjoy it, so you're more determined to do it because you enjoy it. And I think the more LV you have, especially the more hate you have, you probably enjoy it more. And hate probably corrupts you to the point where you're a murderer. So I can imagine that the more you enjoy it, the more you want to do it. It's like an addiction to killing. So you're so determined that you're taking their determination, if that makes sense. Because I guess it's more a battle of determination at that point. If you're determined enough, you can do anything, at least in like a logical sense, right? Like you can't literally do anything in the real world, but you can, you get what I'm saying, right? You can achieve anything if you are determined enough. So imagine in a game world, right, that would be literal. You can achieve anything if you're determined enough. You can turn back time if you're determined enough. You can reset time. You get the idea. So maybe that's how that works. Again, it's a fan game. They probably don't put that much thought into it, but I am putting thought into it. So let's continue the reaction video. Ow. Big ow. It's Papyrus's turn. Okay. Does it really matter? Oh no. Back. Oh, that actually would make sense. Maybe Sans is... Yeah, that makes sense. Because if Sans is using his determination to bring Papyrus back, then it would make sense how he loses his determination trait in his eye because he's probably using lots of determination. Uh-oh. Yeah, Sans has stopped caring now. He's doing anything he can. Oh, wow. Imagine that's a fireball. Or something like it. Oh my god. He's tired now, though. Whoa, hold on. That's a big blast. Is that really necessary? Wait, hold on. It was! He actually won in this timeline version. Wow, that's nice, actually. I was expecting, like, Kara to come back to her save point and just one-shot him. Which happens in lots of animations because people, for some reason, want the not the main character, but, like, Kara, Frisk, whoever the player's controlling to win. And I get it, it's like... It's how it's meant to be, but you know, it's. I think it's because I like the characters, not all the characters, like specifically. I think that Sans, Gaster are cool. Everyone else can just. Also, I see lots of people saying like we don't really know who Gaster looks like, but you can use the process of elimination because. If you get like a piece of paper, right? If you Photoshop every character or if you get every character from Undertale, right, with their photos, right, you can mostly cut out lots of them. The river person technically is their own character, and why would if Gaster's a river person, why would he say this? Why would he say beware of the man who speaks in hands, right? And then you see like the Gaster follower who says, I'm holding a piece of him, and you see a face, right? A gooey face. And it looks... And also, I mean, lots of people say, I know it's like a fan, it's accepted in the fandom, and makes the most sense. But I do think he created the core, because I just don't see Alphys being able to create it, you know? Why would Alphys be able to create the core if she's having trouble with determination? And from what the looks of it, Sans could have been a royal scientist. That's also heavily accepted, I guess, because of the 2 jobs thing. And how he got the money to buy the house, how the money works. I feel that big of a house would cost lots of money, and being a scientist could give you that much money. The much money you need. So, if he was a royal scientist with Alphys and Gaster, with all the other Gaster followers, that would make sense. And it wouldn't make sense that no one knows about him, because he was so scared in time and space that he got forgotten. And Sans and Papyrus, and that the dad, I don't know, disappeared. Papyrus forgot about him, and Sans remembered him because of the photo in the basement, right? In his basement. That would make sense, because though I think Gaster gets erased from time and space, there's a chance that photos can last. Because, I guess, time and space, I don't know, it would make the most sense of, doesn't it? Because if you put all the pieces together without me keep forgetting parts, it makes more sense. Because again, also, Gaster has a lot, like, because in the code, right, the stats for Gaster are so much, because in Azrael, right, the Azrael Dreamer fight, his stats, right, are 999,999, which are a lot, but they're not infinity, right, as shown in the game, depending on what you believe which one. But Gaster, right, his stats are like 66666, like a lot of sixes, and you lose gold, I think XP as well when you try and beat him. And you know what happens when you give it a monster like a Frogget, the stats Gaster has? It just misses. So Gaster, if he is Gaster, is a lot more powerful than Azrael, right? At least a lot more powerful, right? And I'm saying that because I think that is Gaster, the mystery man. Because there's no other characters it could be. What other characters could it be? Every other character has a name, or, right, are referencing him. And he wouldn't reference himself in first person. And also, beware of the man who speaks in hands, and it's rude to talk to someone who's listening, would make you think he's a strong... And if he is shattered through time and space, right, that would make sense. He's everywhere in a sense, but nowhere at the same time. So he can probably hear everything and nothing at the same time. So, you know, everything's all messed up, but maybe he can hear you, and and that would explain why in Deltarune, like an alternate universe, maybe Gaster done another experiment and everything you see is a test. Maybe he is all powerful, and I don't know, because I think that's like very because many people think it's Gaster, isn't it? Because he also talks like very, very interesting and stuff. And that's like his speech. Also, another reason he's probably very powerful, when you try and pick his name, the game crashes, which is probably him doing it. Because every time you pick someone's name, like for example, pick Sans will talk to you, right? Undying will talk to you. Gaster, he doesn't talk to you, but he crashes your game. Why would Gaster be the only one where he's not interacting with you? Just doesn't make sense. If Gaster is interacting with you, where is he? He must be in a void, a room you don't usually go in. You know the only room that would be? The room where there's just this weird man just standing there. And then he teleports away, which we see Sans is able to do. Papyrus, I don't think can. I don't think Papyrus is that powerful. I know people think he does. I just doubt it. I doubt Papyrus is really that strong, right? Papyrus is at least weak. At best, he can, like... I know people think he's strong. I just doubt it. And again, movement and stuff like that. Just because he's not moving doesn't mean he's... just because he's moving, right? Doesn't mean he's every word keeps getting confused. Yeah. Because just because he's not moving doesn't mean he's strong. It just means he's not moving. He's probably hyper-focused on something in his mind. And I know every character moves, but that's not evidence that he's strong. That could be a animation error. That could be... maybe he isn't strong, but he's hyper-focused on the battle. When you're focused, you zone out, right? You go into like a flow state. But you don't move around in a flow state, do you? It depends on what you're doing, of course. But if he's fighting, right? And him flying, right? Because I see lots of people think he's flying, right? Maybe he's double jumping. Maybe he... because again, right? Maybe he's climbing on a tree. Maybe he's... because what I think he's doing is he's jumped, right? And then he's on the tree and he's walking on the tree. Which will make him very strong. And then he jumps off the tree after, before you say, well, how is he getting down? He just jumps off the tree again. It's just... didn't want to animate that. He's definitely not flying, though. Because that would mean he would be able to escape the underground in minutes. Same with Flowey and Sans and stuff. Also, I never wondered this, but if there's a civilization underground, why can't they have ladders? Like, get a big ladder and just... or make a spear ladder. Undying could just, you know, create a spear ladder out of spears and everyone could climb up it. Am I the only one that thinks that's a good idea? But anyways, I think I'm going off in a side tangent. But I do think Gaster, that the sprite that's most commonly accepted for Gaster is Gaster. And that he created the core. Because there's no way Alphys did it. Alphys is too... how do I put it nicely? Alphys is too... I mean, Alphys can't even handle experimental determination without being stressed out for people's lives. How would she goddamn create the whatever the hell the core does? But you know the... what is it called? The core? Yeah, Gaster most definitely create the core. Sans is too lazy. I doubt he was any... I mean, then again, though, maybe before Frisk. I mean, maybe, but I just doubt it, to be honest with you. I just think that Gaster... if it's easier to explain that Gaster done it, because it all lines up. It lines up with the story that Gaster was Sans and Papyrus's dad. They were to, like, I don't know, they were a family until Gaster created the core, right? With maybe Sans, maybe Sans allowed, maybe Gaster allowed Sans to work with him. That's how he got the money. Or maybe, when, and then Gaster fell in his own creation with maybe some of his fellow people who were making the core with him, the Gaster followers. And they all fell in with him, right? And then Gal Gaster's money, right, because he disappeared, went to Sans and Papyrus. And that's how Sans, he's probably one with the money, got the house. And, yeah, that would all make up and line up well. Because that's what people say, Sans and Papyrus got here one day. Which wouldn't make sense, would it? Because everyone, I mean, yes, he could have been made in a lab, but then, in a way, the person who created him would still be Gaster, no matter if Sans was creating a lab, or Papyrus was creating a lab and Sans was. It just wouldn't make sense either way, you get what I'm saying? So, that would explain the story well. And then, over time, right, let's say Frisk appeared, kept resetting, Sans lost hope. You get what I mean? Sans lost hope. So his HP went down. Also, that would make sense that HP is hope. You know? Hold on. But then again, LV, level of violence. But you get the idea. HP being hope, right? You're hopeful, so you want to live. Your HP goes up. But... I know I just said it was determination. It could be HP, but it could also be hope. That would also explain how maybe the red knives take away your hope. Because, I don't know, determination, they're so determined and you're not. But maybe then that would then explain Gaster, right? Not Gaster, Sans. Maybe he lost hope, so his HP went down in his defense because he had no hope for living, right? He has no hope for a future. So his HP went down, and that would make sense. HP. Hope. Right? That would make sense. Unless you're going to say that maybe it's just health points. But why would XP have an acronym? Well, it'd be an acronym, LV be an acronym, but HP not. It just wouldn't make sense. Maybe, but again, lots of what I just said is a theory that explains the story well. It also explains how Sans got the money to buy a house when he's clearly too lazy to work a job. Papyrus is way too naive to work in the Royal Guard, so he probably doesn't work. So how else would they have the money unless their dad, which would be Gaster in the story, would explain how everything works. Also explain why the Gaster Blaster is called the Gaster Blaster. Gaster Blaster meaning that Gaster may have created the Gaster Blaster and trained Sans how to use it, but not Papyrus, because Gaster thought Papyrus wouldn't use it, or Sans knew how to use it. I mean, there's evidence to suggest Papyrus was going to use a Gaster Blaster, I just doubt it. Chances are it would be some non-working one, because Papyrus wouldn't harm you. Given by the fact that the bridge encounter is proof of that. He wouldn't harm you even if he wanted to. Oh, so disbelief for Papyrus. But what I'm saying is it all puts pieces together that would make sense. Because Alphys couldn't... I keep repeating myself. Alphys could never be able to make the call. Alphys is way too... I wouldn't say dumb, but she doesn't even, she doesn't test everything. If she was smart, she would test determination on living monsters, not dying monsters. That could give a better result. What happens if you inject a inanimate object with determination? Because when you did the flower, right, when she did inject determination to the flower, a flower is technically living, right? Just not in the way most people think living is. So maybe the determination gave it more living with Azrael's dust. It created Flowey with Azrael's consciousness. Well, Flowey's Azrael, aren't they technically the same person? Azrael's consciousness, but with no soul, so no feeling, and technically empathy. Technically, it's just, I wouldn't argue Flowey cannot feel anything, because in the fight, right, when in Genocide, when you encounter Flowey, he gets scared. That is feeling something. He just doesn't feel compassion. He lost the ability to feel compassion, if that makes sense. Anyways, I think that's it. Goodbye.